I'm Mary Love. I'm the co-founder of Heart of Houston Birth and Wellness Center. I'm a certified nurse midwife and family nurse practitioner. So I have maybe a different story for how people came to be a midwife. I was born at home, which isn't unusual. My younger brother and I were both born at home. And then after high school, I went to theater school and did costumes and was reading the book, and I can never remember the author's name, but it's called Midwives, which is sort of like a horrible tale of things gone wrong, but written really well. But it was like reading a book and going, wow, that's who I am. And so that created a very long path of what type of midwife do I want to be? Do I want to, be a professional midwife? Do I want to be a nurse midwife? I'd moved down to Tennessee at the time, and so I did some workshops at the farm and apprenticed a little bit with Pamela Hunt, and then enrolled in nursing school, and so kind of set out that path to become a nurse midwife. Graduated in 2011 with a degree as a nurse midwife and a family nurse practitioner. Over the course of my nursing career in schools, I did a lot of pediatric, but left, and since then have worked as a midwife and sort of full scope in almost every setting. And my family and I, we moved to Houston about 9 years ago now, working in a hospital, and I would hear kind of every day, it seemed like, from folks coming into practice like, gosh, we'd really like to, deliver at a birth center, but we wish there was something more central or closer in. We don't want to drive, way out of town. I was like, that's a great idea, somebody should do that. So after many years of that, that little light bulb went on in my head, and it was like, oh, maybe that's you. And fortunately or unfortunately, I listened to that. And also had worked long enough as a private practice midwife and a hospitalist to kind of see really where things were lacking or where things were missing and where some of those gaps with our community are. So it started a very sort of intentional process to create Heart of Houston, where we can meet our community needs. Where are those missing pieces that are there? And so that was that. I reached out to Jessica, who was working as a doula, because I reached out to all kinds of people in the community to say, hey, what do we need? Where are we at? What's going on? And convinced her to do this with us. And so, kind of with the intention to create a space that really let midwifery care shine. We've been able to maintain privileges at the hospital, so we're the only private practice midwifery group here in the Houston area that also attends birth in a hospital. The Texas Medical Center is a really big place, and I'm the first midwife to catch a baby there that didn't belong to a hospital or a physician practice, so that was a really big deal. And then also we want to make it kind of accessible, not just to people that have low risk normal birth, but how can we also give a little bit of that midwifery love or a little bit of that to people that are really high risk, or they love their providers and the hospital is where they want to be. And so that's kind of how the idea of the Whole Heart Collective came into play too. It's like, okay, how can we broaden that base and really provide what's needed? Because I think that's one of the things my hospitalist job taught me was, geez, all these people need a midwife, and that even in the most complex situations, the most complex pregnancies, all of the normal is still there, and it gets left behind and forgotten, so often. And so trying to kind of bring all of that back in.